Well, we can make this quick. We can be done in 2 minutes. Okay, I'll call the meeting to order. Is the meeting properly noticed?
Yes, it is.
Okay, roll call, please.
All members are present.
Okay. We have the agenda before us. Are there any changes in the agenda? Seeing none, the agenda will stand approved as printed. We have the minutes from November 4th, 2025. Any changes in the minutes? Seeing none, those minutes will stand approved as printed. We'll allow public participation as we go through. Next meeting date. January. I know the 9th or
Friday, January 7th.
Friday. Oh, so it's 7th. Wednesday? 6th. Okay. I thought you said 7th. 6th. Okay. December 6th. How about December 6th? January 6th. Does that work well for everybody? Okay. At 3:00? Okay. 3:00. Okay. Otherwise, we'll move on to the reports from UW Extension. So, Director, please.
Good afternoon. Our report, I think, would be the most important thing for us to focus on, and that would be under another agenda item. But at this time, I've continued to work with the staff. We've had our change in staff. Our food-wise staff have been eliminated now due to the layoffs and the SNAP Ed funding being cut. So we're down to full part-time support staff who will be replaced with a full-time support staff. I'm working with HR to replace Linda because Linda has moved to another role here in the county. And we'll have a 4-H educator over there, Evan Henthorn, and health and wellbeing educator, Sheila Michaels. And then we have a part-time person in Yesenia Meza. She is being funded by a research project out of Madison, working with individuals as a community health worker in the county. So our work continues with the staff we have remaining, and that's all I've got for a report today.
Okay. Anything on project status?
Please note, Evan did include in the project status report kind of an update on where the SAIL program, students active as youth leaders. He compiled some data. There's an image, I think, Lyanna, if you can find it. Perfect. So at the upper left corner, you can see that he had done some surveys or asked students for their input on how they felt what they'd accomplished. And so that data is up there in the upper left-hand corner. And then in the middle, the program goals are listed, the 1, 2, 3 program goals. And then he talked to participants, and those were the kinds of quotes he received from them. Things like, would the participant have future career in government? 50% were unsure, 25% disagreed, and 25% they would. A function of county government, they feel that they're learning. Elected officials cannot be trusted. They said 50% say they'd agree, or 50% disagreed, I'm sorry, and 50% were uncertain. So, and a chance for young people to really learn about what county government is, because I don't think that they really get that opportunity anyplace else in their high school career. And then he also alluded to in the upper right-hand corner, the goals that are part of the Adams County strategic plan. Those are things that are being addressed by the SAIL program. So I thought that was important for us to note. And then his promotion plans then for the coming year are on the blue sheet.
Okay, thank you. Next time we have the 10-year land and water plan. So Colton was able to go down to the state, and I attended virtually, and so it was he did a great job. So I mean, you have the board down there and the DATCAP people, they are very knowledgeable on what they do, and they had a lot of good comments to say about our group here, even though they're young. They know their stuff, and hopefully we can keep them here for a long time, right? As long as we're around, right, Dave? So go ahead, Colton.
Yeah, thanks, John. Yeah, so this morning I went down to Madison and presented it in front of the Land and Water Conservation Board. They have 10 voting members on their board, and there was 3 counties up for adoption of a new plan. It was us, Iowa County, and Sheboygan County. Like John said, they were very happy with the amount of progress that they've seen in Adams County the past couple of years, with the 3 of us being one of the smallest departments in the state. They've seen our numbers go up in farmland preservation and nutrient management planning. They've recognized that we've used all of our cost share dollars that DATCAP has given us through the SWRM program. And yeah, they were just really thankful that we have the backing of the county and our committee and the board with all of our projects that we do. So I gave about a 10 to 15 minute presentation overview of the county, kind of similar to what I did last month with our committee here. And then it was about a 45-minute Q&A session where they just asked some questions about our plan, mostly based on our groundwater initiatives and our priority farm strategies. So yeah, after the hour that I was there, they all voted. It was a unanimous vote, 10 out of 10, and they approved the overall plan. So now we're bringing it back here. I did send out an email last week with the plan and a couple sections that I would have recommended to focus on, as those 2 sections kind of wrap up like a summary of the plan. So if anybody has any questions, just let me know.
Okay. Questions on the plan?
Mr. Mayor, is this on the floor? Have we taken a
Yes.
second on this?
Oh, no, we don't have a motion to approve it yet. So
Okay.
but if there's questions on there.
Yeah, I'll hold off, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
So. Okay. Now's the time to ask questions on the plan though, Supervisor Pozdolski.
Yeah, we covered some of them in the last meeting, I believe. I do have some comments though after it's on the floor. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Do I have a motion to approve the resolution and move it on to county board? Supervisor Grabarski, second by Supervisor Churko. Okay, we have the motion on the floor. So Supervisor Pozdolski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So I just have a comment here. It's, as many of these things seem like good proposals, these practices should already be being applied and prioritized. 10 years may be construed by citizens or just in general as irresponsible or even unrealistic. Therefore, I would make a motion to amend this resolution to say that basically to make it from 10 years to 1 to 5 year plan, which is more practical and even more responsible. And a lot of this material, I mean, it 1 year, it would look better, I think, if we just 1 year, 1 to 5 year plan. So,
Well, Supervisor Pozdolski is probably, I mean, a good comment, and the motion is probably out of place because they require a 10-year plan. And they require this 10-year plan, and it got approved unanimously, but it is going back for review again in 5 years. So that,
I mean,
the DATCAP board or the Land and Water Board, and this has to be there to get any funding at all. So if you're going to go for funding, you need a 10-year plan, sort of like the Parks does.
who drafted this, or who's the proprietor of this resolution, if I may know?
Well, the resolution is coming from the board, and the resolution was drafted by Colton. So,
Was there anyone else involved in this?
well, with the 10-year plan,
Yeah,
the 10-year plan, we had a meeting with the resource group,
right.
and the resource group was listed in there, and we also had help from the North Central Regional Planning Commission.
So I
They
mean,
help.
it's just, we like to see entities within Adams County, such as Colton, for example, you know, within Adams
Hmm.
County. Now, some of these other entities may not be from within Adams County.
I mean, the regional planning covers our area, and then all the other people that were on the resource committee are in Adams County. They
And
were all
the
in
North
Adams County.
Central Planning, I mean, that they're kind of a regional, if planning organization, which is multi-county. It's a little detached from what we are here in Adams County. So,
So you understand why I can't let that motion go through because it
Well-
needs to be a 10-year plan. That's what's required.
I mean, says who though?
Says the board, says the state board.
We can, I mean, we should be able to make changes.
Go ahead, Colton, I'll
right?
let you.
Yeah, a 10-year plan is required by Wisconsin statute 92.10, and Wisconsin Admin Code 50.12. It's required for every land and water department in Wisconsin to have a 10-year plan. It does go for a 5-year review, and we are required to submit annual work plans every single year to receive funding. And then to kind of go off of the Regional Planning Commission that helped us draft this plan, they may cover, a few counties, but they're just bringing together the ideas that the Adams counties groups and resource groups and our citizens have, and just bringing it into one document and just helping us, create a good template for this plan.
Yeah, I mean, a 5-year plan, that seems reasonable, attainable. 10 years, well, I'll be honest, might be a bit of a stretch. We should just focus on the near term a little more because, like I say, a lot of these things are good measures, good ideas, and it'd be good if they were applied sooner than later. And it might seem as though that's not going to happen if it's 10 years out. It just doesn't set any kind of deadline. It pushes this stuff off in effect in a way that someone might think that, well, we don't have to deal with this for 10 years, or maybe it's 1 year. But it just seems like it'd be a lot more responsible and realistic to bring this closer and, reel it in a little bit, 5 years. It's just a bit of a stretch at 10 years, to be honest with you all. So I mean, I'd like to go along with this, but going out 10 years, it's not sitting well with me and a lot of us. So I don't think I'm going to be able to go along with it. Thank you.
Supervisor Samuelstead?
State law says 10 years. We have to go by the state law. Period.
Right. Okay.
I can't agree with it.
Your point's valid, so, but if that's your belief, you can vote your way, so, okay. So if there's no other discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay, Supervisor Pozdolski.
Okay, noted. That motion passes and the resolution will move on to county board. Next, we have a resolution for multi-discharger variance funding.
Yep. So this funding actually just came about in my email here just a couple weeks ago. It's something that Adams County has never taken part in the past. Multi-discharger variance funding. It's an effort to reduce phosphorus in the surface waters of Wisconsin for wastewater point source discharges. And numeric phosphorus criteria has been adopted by the state and approved by the EPA in 2010, along with the establishment of NR 151 agricultural performance standards. The estimated funding for Adams County to use in cost sharing phosphorus reducing ag practices is roughly that $19,370. There is a administration portion of this that we could utilize, which would be 35%, which is about $6,700. And then the cost sharing portion is 65%, which is that 12,590. There was supposed to be an expiration date on these funds coming up in 2027, but the DNR recently received approval for another 10-year period through 2035. So then these practices is kind of similar to the cost sharing implementations that we do through the SWRM funding through DATCAP. They must meet or exceed one or more of Wisconsin's 151 codes and performance standards. So that could be anything from hard practices like barnyard runoff control systems, diversions. Otherwise, it can be like the softer practices, kind of something similar that we would use our SEG funding for, which is cover crops and filter strips, or like harvestable or riparian buffers that lie within one of our Huck 8 watershed codes, which is the two that we have is the Castle Rock or the Upper Fox watersheds. So this is just to extend funds. This is more funds to get into the county for agricultural practices, for our producers. It's just more conservation that we'd be able to get done on the landscape every year. And this money, it's an allocation. So every year we'll be allocated a certain amount. So if we utilize all these funds, we should see a trend in the future until 2035 that more funds will be allocated to us because we're utilizing all this and we're just getting more conservation on the ground.
Okay. Supervisor Chirko?
Colin, what's the schedule for reimbursement? In other words, after you put the money out, how long does it take to get the money back?
Yeah, so there's they have this listed in 3 phases. So phase 1 is the application, phase 2 is the implementation, and then phase 3 is the reimbursement. So if we were to apply, we need to apply for these funds by January 1st. We're able to utilize, I say utilize, meaning we pay upfront these funds starting February 1st if we're awarded. And then the following January, when the next year's funds would be, to apply, that's when we would receive the reimbursement. We file for reimbursement though in December of the year that you're taking part in these practices. Basically a year. Yeah, it's kind of along the same timeline as like our SWRM funding, where we file for reimbursement and then we'll receive it the following year.
Supervisor Postowski?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'm looking at this and they talk about 58,000 pounds of phosphorus pollutant kept out of the waterways. I don't know if that means much to most, or if they don't have a comparable or a number. I guess what I'm looking for here is a percentage. Does anybody have any figures of percentages rather than pounds? Since 2017, that might be more applicable in this resolution to know. Colton, might you have any information along those lines?
There is a document from the past 8 years that this has been available. It's a 72-page document. I'm not sure. I'm guessing they probably do have percentages in there. If they don't, they just had it labeled out in pounds, because that's kind of what our some of our softwares need is pounds and not percentages.
I mean, maybe we could put it this: how many pounds would have went through otherwise, and then we could get some kind of control or baseline. This is just, I mean, it's not very clear what we're really doing here.
Find it in this document quick for you, but
Okay,
I mean, I can send this over to you as well.
that'd just be good to have it now. If we could, I mean, later on in the meeting or at some point, we could just present it so it's here available for citizens that might wonder about this too. Like to know.
Yeah, but I mean, the overall aspect of this is any reduction of phosphorus that we can do in the county is just beneficial. I mean, if you see a little bit, I mean, it's already out of our 2 Huck 8 watersheds, we have over 5,000 pounds of phosphorus that has been kept out in the last 8 years. A few pounds is better than no pounds, and 5,000 pounds is, a great percentage of, what is that? That's 10%. Out of the 40 counties that have taken part in this, 10% of the pounds of phosphorus has left the watersheds that reside in Adams County.
It's just,
Yeah, if you want to maybe send that out to all
the
committee
number-
members,
Yep.
Colton.
Yeah, we're kind of throwing numbers around a little bit. That just, what are we, are we getting what we're paying for? So it's not really that clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's not coming out of our budget. It's money that's given to us that we're cost sharing with these producers.
Right.
So we're not paying for it.
It's still a grant, it's got to be looked at all ways out in the whole, as a whole, in the community, in Adams County. And then if we could just clarify a little more, what are we looking at when it comes to barnyard runoff control systems? Can you clarify that a little more, please? So for some of us that might not be familiar, it's just, what are we looking at?
We're looking at manure management, which is nutrient management plans. We're looking at like physical barriers and vegetative systems.
Now, when it comes to your, I don't know, your everyday farm, your average farm, they're probably not going to have these systems. Right. I mean, the old school farms probably aren't going to have these systems. It just, it seems like it's a little bit advanced for Adams County farmers. This might be more applicable in other areas, or just not in Adams County, where you have a lot of old school farm operations that, I mean, just don't have these systems in place. Mr. Chair, is this on the floor? I don't believe this is on the floor. We're just questions and answers right now.
Right.
Right. Okay. And another thing, we're just, who's the owner of this resolution? Can you tell us who drafted this?
Colton drafted it.
Anyone else involved, or that you can tell us was involved?
Well, Kirk Council and
Um,
the county administrator
they
both reviewed it.
All right, well put together. I mean, we just like to know who drafted it. And then clarify the CH .NC 151 was ADM code. Just what that, just quick overview of what that spells out.
Yep, those are agricultural performance standards and are non-point source pollution.
Okay. Thank you for that, Colton. I think that's, yeah, I mean, if we had more information on percentages and such, that would be very helpful to include this or include that.
So Colton will send that to you, and if you can,
That's something I
Yep.
would amend it right now.
that
That would look really good.
you'll have that information. You can share it with whoever you like.
Okay.
So I'd entertain a motion to move this on to county board. Supervisor Salmstead, second by Citizen Morgan. So, okay, further discussion or questions? Supervisor Postowski.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just have a quick statement here now that it's on the floor. This verbiage seems to advocate large operations already having these updated systems. Putting smaller old school farms at a disadvantage, or even creating a very unfair playing field, putting only large high-tech operations at a unnatural or even unhealthy advantage in Adams County. So therefore, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be approving this.
Yeah, I don't see where it restricts who gets the money.
It's putting larger entities that already have these systems in place, I believe, at the advantage. And the old school farms, well, they're gonna have to get the, to compete, they're gonna have to have these systems, is what it's saying to me.
Well, they could build a vegetation control buffer for their barnyard waste, and that's not high tech. That's just planting some vegetation.
I mean, if you got a
So,
natural setup already in existence, you know, might not even be necessary.
but it might not, might need to be improved.
But
Anything that can help to keep the phosphorus out of the water, that's what we're looking for.
if you're
So,
making the farmer spend money that he otherwise shouldn't have to, and to compete with the other large entities that might already be required to have these systems, you know, in different situations, more sophisticated situations or updated systems. But we still need to consider, you know, the old school farms and farmers. So, I mean, that's who I'm looking after, you know, here.
okay,
I think so.
okay.
Thank you.
Seeing no further discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye. Those opposed signify by saying nay.
Nay, Supervisor Pozdolski.
That passes. The resolution will be sent on to county board. Next, any project status updates or questions? Okay, land and water staff report, Colton. Is there anything you want to highlight?
I don't have any highlights. I guess the biggest highlight would be, I guess not for this month, but it happened today that we got it, the plan approved by the Land and Water Board. That was a
Right.
really huge success in our department.
Right, right, and they are appreciative of the way Adams County moving forward
Very.
over the last few years, so.
Yep.
So, thanks to the committee and the county board, so, and the staff that we have, so. Okay, otherwise we'll move on to the Lake Alliance report.
Okay, get on here. The only thing that really came up in last month's meeting was a few of the lakes complaining about the beaver dams and what they can do to get rid of them. Nobody had any real suggestive ones. I mean, some had a few ways of getting rid of them, but and wake boats seem to be a problem on like Tri-Lake, trying to get that eliminated. They've got like 1,700 signatures against the wake boats. Other than that, like I say, not a lot going on. Different ones had the E. coli taken out, lily pads, some people complaining, but they said the only thing you really can do is get down on the bottom and pull them out. From, you know, there's not a big way of harvesting them that they're not going to come back. So
Yeah.
but
Okay,
that's about it.
okay, thank you. Agriculture report?
At this point, a lot of the farmers, the majority of the farmers, are attending UW classes up by Plover, educating themselves on what he says they don't know.
So,
So that's what they're basically doing the last 2 weeks, taking classes.
okay, we have the DAT cap report there. Any questions on the DAT cap report? Okay. Seeing nothing else, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you all, and we don't see you. Have a wonderful holiday season, so.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Chair.